All right. So my name is Danieylah Alina Viola, and I am an awakening and ascension guide. And I assist those seeking hearts in coming into wholeness by healing and integrating and attracting back into their body and beingness their life force energy, which is infinite, and calling it back in so that you can have as much energy and as much of you. That was funny how you did that. As much of you into you so that you have as much resource to work with. So cord cutting is an important process. And many times what we do is we find ourselves falling short in the cord cutting process. A lot of times we think it's just cutting cords, setting the intention of cutting the cords, imagining the cords, letting the cords go, and that's it. And I know for myself, I've been doing cord cutting for years, and I've come to realize that it's actually an 8-step process. So I'm going to share with you this 8-step process, and we will put this process into works in this session, and see how we do with that, which I'm sure will be really effective at being able to bring as much of our life force energy into ourselves and protecting that. So 2 things I wanted to show you. So this here, if you could see it, is a very simple rendition of a nice, vibrant, whole energy field. So you see the person in the middle. The bioenergetic fields are actually many layers. So this is just a very simplified form. And then the little things coming off of it are just vibrancy of light, right? Because our pure beingness is just love and light contained into this physical vessel. So what happens is many times, this is what happens to us. Okay. So we have tears, right? And those are rips in our fields, right? That can leak energy. Also, tears can allow people to emotionally hook into us, right? Which hooks can lead into cords if they're not contended with. Over here, we have a leak, right? You see what's happening here, and then boop, there's just this leak here, which means anybody can just enter in.
Like
I'm sorry?
like a drain or a siphon.
Yes, yes. They could just siphon it out. And then if that siphoning stays for any length of time, it turns into a cord. Because what a cord is it's just your energy feeding into or being fed from somebody else's energy. And there's a pattern here. And then that pattern becomes more and more dense, right? As you walk down the path, it becomes more and more clear, it becomes more and more dense, it becomes tighter. And then before you know it, you got this nice thick cord. And I have witnessed, both in myself and others, cords can be pretty thin. They could be of all different colors. They could even have patterns or symbols in them, right? They definitely are filled with emotions, right? Is, you know, like when you automatically get triggered by somebody, you go down that autopilot, that's a cord. That's a great way of knowing that you have a cord.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Are there healthy cords?
I would venture to say no. Because cords are codependency.
Gotcha.
Meaning that there's something within your fields that's like as if you're not enough and you need something from somebody else. And you keep receiving that from somebody else, then it becomes a codependency, which is very popular, right? How many times in our relationships we have codependency? I need you for this, you need me for that. And then because of that codependency, the weaknesses that are found there trickles into other kind of damaging habits, assumptions, expectations, and that creates attachments. And then when you have attachments, that spirals even more the codependency, which never leads down a beneficial, mutually beneficial path for both parties.
Gotcha.
So, and that does lead to what I wanted to say about codependency. So that's why it's important in all of our relationships, whether it's a spouse or a sibling or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, is the importance of each person being as whole as they can where they don't need that other person. Like, I don't need you to cook for me for me to feel okay, or I don't need you to give me money for me to feel okay, or I don't need you to give me love because without your love, I don't feel okay. That's why it's so important to be able to be self-sustaining in your own space and in your own body and beingness, so that you can then attract somebody else who also is sovereign in their own space and body and beingness, and then come together. And that's when you rise and you flourish. So anything less than that becomes a codependent relationship, which always spirals into woundings, pains, triggers. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't go out there and have your relationships. Absolutely, because relationships serve as your mirror to
Absolutely.
your woundings, right? Which are crying out for healing and integration. So I'm not saying not to go out and have those relationships, but to take full responsibility of everything that you encounter, all of your emotions, all of your thoughts. You own those. It doesn't make a difference what those outside of you
Right.
say or do to you. It's your reaction to it, right? That
Right.
creates.
Why self-love is so important. So
Absolutely.
right. I get, okay. So now let me just see if I'm following you here.
Okay.
So then if you feel so if it's a relationship that you're not intending to end, say like, i.e. a family member, and you feel that there's an unhealthy codependence there,
Mm-hmm.
you'll do a cord cutting. It doesn't mean that you're looking to sever the relationship, just the unhealthy bond or the unhealthy thing in the relationship.
Yes. And
Ah.
see, here's the thing
Wow.
though. Aha. Here's the thing though with that is that's why many times cord cutting doesn't work, because you still have that relationship with them. You go into, and this is just my understanding of it with both my clients and as well as my own past history of doing cord cutting and wondering why it didn't work completely.
This is why sorry, throw that out there. Okay. You do so well. Go ahead.
So what happens is you go through this process of cord cutting and you set this intention. Okay, I'm not, this is what I don't like. This is the pain. You acknowledge the pain. You feel into it. You get a sense of what the cord feels like. You set the intention. You cut the cord.
I'm writing it down.
But then what happens is, well, we're recording this, so you can.
I know, but I wanna see the words as you say them.
Okay.
It just helps. It makes me resonate.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So then what happens though is you have to back that up with action.
Yes.
You have to back that up with support. So that's why we're going to get into the 8 steps of cord cutting, so we could show you what those are all about.
I'm walking away from this for 1 second, but I'm right here, Danieylah. Keep going.
You got it. So the first step to cord cutting is bringing in multidimensional support. So many times we discount ourselves by believing that this is just it when we do the cord cutting, rather than understanding that we are multidimensional beings, which means you are just a very small representation of the totality of yourself. So you want to expand your consciousness outside of just this to your multidimensional being.
Right.
Call it your higher self, Christ itself. I am presence. You want to call in pure source consciousness. You want to ground yourself. Now, for the simplicity of this session, I'm not going to get into those things. We'll do those in further sessions. But you want to ground yourself and you want to open.
Yeah,
And then you want to call in your legions of light, your angels, archangels, ascended masters, enlightened ancestors. You want to call in the multidimensional aspects of your being and call in all of that energetic support and set the intention that today you're going to cut cords for whatever that is. And whatever that is could be a person, it could be a place, it could be a thing, it could be a pattern in your life, it could be an addiction, it could be a belief system, it could be anything, because we are multi-dimensional beings. You have your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, you have your spiritual body. So it's anything that is attaching and cording into those, not just into your conscious physical being, the cords. So it could be anything. You could say, well, you know, I have this pessimistic view of the world all the time. I want to cut the cord to that.
Right.
Right. And you can cut that cord. You can feel into yourself and cut that cord. So the first step is the multidimensional support. You want to call all that in. Then you want to do your clearing steps. Now, clearing steps, again, is a multi-step process, which I will get into in another session. But clearing steps are identifying your trigger, your pain point, right? I actually made a note about it over here.
Your trigger, you said?
Yeah, feeling into the trigger or the distortion. It could be distortion in the way you think, in the way you feel, distortion in your relationship. It's a pain point, a hurt point, whatever that is. You want to feel into that, whatever it is that you're looking to cut. And then you want to own it. You want to take full responsibility for that. You don't want to say it's because of this or because of that,
right.
At least not in this step yet. You want to just own it. Just say, yes, this is it. This is mine. This is my cord. This is me. This is what I'm looking to cut. Then you want to get into the full expression of it. So you can, and when I say full expression of it, allow yourself to feel whatever that trigger, that pain point is. You want to feel it fully. So this is where you can get into blame. You could say it's a boyfriend or it's a coworker. You could say the full expression, again, is a multi-leveled process. So it's emotional expression, mental expression, physical expression, verbal expression, right? You can scream it out. You want to allow yourself to lean in completely to this. This is so important. This is one of the biggest reasons why people don't, because they don't allow the full expression.
Right.
Everything, including your thoughts, your feelings, your pains, want to be acknowledged. Everything is conscious.
There's a lot of tapping going on in that one.
Yeah. But you want to really feel it. You know, I used
no to tapping. I'm gonna cry. Snot bubbles. I
get it. But I used to, you know, I would. Why? But I would go behind the pillow and I would push it and I would yell and I would say, you know, it's all your fault. You know, why do you have to be such an a-hole? I can't stand you. You're a jerk. Like what you've done to me, you hurt me, you pain me. Or I mean, I would, you know, really let it all out.
Made me feel fat in my jeans.
Exactly.
I got it.
Whatever it is, fully express it. Scream it out, yell it out. Even if it comes out, you know, I have clients when they get into that mode, it comes out as these primal sounds that they, you know, whatever it is, you want to give yourself that.
Only dogs can hear them. I got it.
Full expression. So then you want to get into the lesson that presents, and then you want to get into the acceptance of it. And these are not all the steps, but you get the idea. You want to go through your clearing steps. So the first one is bringing in multidimensional support. You want to have done the clearing steps. Now the clearing steps could have been done prior to this. That's fine. It doesn't have to be done.
See, and I feel this takes I feel like I do this way too long.
Okay.
I'm an overthinker, as we know.
Yes.
I know that's the issue because it takes me, I have a guilt. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, and it takes me so long to get to the point to cut the cord.
Yes. So
enough of that.
Yeah.
I have to cut cords with cutting cords.
Yes. So that we can cover that in another session, definitely, because that's a very.
I'm there. I'm already there.
Okay. But yeah, because that's something that is, you know, especially with empaths, and sensitives. And also, like you said, you know, based on your upbringing and the patterns that you have inherited, there's all sorts of obstacles, for lack of a better word, that can stand in your way. But we will get into that in another session.
I'm back. It's I think when I went down the spiritual road, I was fine. But when I fell in love with myself, it was like, it was okay for me to, I got good with my boundaries. And then at some point when I think after the soul contract, I know it. After the soul contract, and when I started Pretty Little Dutch Girl, for some reason, something happened. And I think, or I know, actually I know, I started to feel as this, there was some shift that I somehow lost, that a boundary got blurred. And the guilt crept back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's a core wound that, you know, and that's what happens when you do the work. As you do the work, other things underneath them start to come up to the surface to be cleared. Yeah, that's a whole process.
I actually think something happened with the kids moving out or something, and I'm back. And that's why going back over and re-listening to some of the things. It's the store, I think. And it's like, well, if I'm a healer, no, put your boundaries back.
Right.
You don't
and that's and that's a whole nother session that we're going to do too. So let's just recap where we've been. So bringing in multidimensional support and then clearing steps. Now that, again, the clearing steps could have been before bringing in the multidimensional support. You could have done that already.
I'll go over a quick review. Right. Oh, sorry. One thing before we end today, I would love something, and I keep forgetting to ask you, and it's something you said. Can you do me a favor? Because you do it in all your healings, and you're so good at this. Can you give me a rundown of the multidimensional, like my team, like a quick, you run them off, and I'm like,
okay, well, for the sake of this, I'm trying to keep this as short as possible and as concise, with the idea that people will be watching it in the future. So we'll definitely do that in another session. So again, let's just recap. So bringing in the multidimensional support, you would have already done your clearing steps, or you could do your clearing steps then.
Yeah.
And then preparing your space. So you want to prepare your space. It's a sacred space when you're cord cutting. Right. And you want to have that set. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to do anything special. It's more of an intentional space. Although if you're able to condition your space around, if there's crystals or things that you feel that help support you, or say you have something from someone who passed away who meant a lot to you and you're looking for their support, you could bring that in. You can just, again, bringing in the multidimensional aspect. And the visualization aspect. So visualizing that they're all around you in support of what you're doing. And trying to keep your space as cluttered and as clean as possible always helps with efficacy of any ceremony. So that's number 3. And then number 4 is the actual cord cutting. So there are many, many ways to do cord cutting. Today, I'm going to show you.
So 3 say the sacred space is basically setting an intention and keeping it clean and tidy.
Yes, setting an intention and bringing in whatever intuitively you feel is supportive for your process. Okay. Okay, so cord cutting. So again, there's a lot of different ways of doing it. I'm going to show you one specific way. I'm going to take my earbuds. So this is a very, very powerful, I find the most powerful so far that I have come by. And it's using martial arts.
Ooh.
Okay. So you have the Tandian right down here, which is about 2 inches below your belly button. And you want to imagine in this space here, a golden ball of light. And you want to stretch that golden ball of light all the way down into the ground.
Okay.
Really, really centered and really secure. This is the core of your beingness right here. And you want to, from the ground, from the earth, bring the cord back up. Once you're down all the way in the core of the earth, in the heart of the earth, you want to bring the cord, Earth's energy, up that cord that's still down in the earth, up into the Tandian. Then you want to bring it up, pull the cord up. Now, when I say pull the cord, I mean, you know, you keeping the cord secure in the center of the earth. You're just stretching that cord up, 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 up through your crown.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just imagine it going all the way up into the atmosphere and the stratosphere, up through the sun, the moon, the sun, straight to source. Because the sun, Solaris is our gateway, our local gateway. The sun is actually a gateway portal that eventually, if you follow, will take you straight to source. So you have your stance here and you have your golden light from source coming down through your core, through your vertical column, your ascension column, straight through down the ground to the earth. So you've got your connection between the earth, yourself, and source. So you're standing strong. You want to bend your knees and you want to kind of have your legs out a bit, a little bit further than your shoulders. Okay. And you really feel the security in that. You want to bounce a little bit and really feel the strength in that stance. So your legs are kind of turned out a bit and your feet are kind of turned out a bit and you've got your weight in your feet. You can feel that solidarity.
Okay.
Okay. And you want to take a couple of nice deep breaths in. And with this one, what I'm going to do is I'm taking my arms as blades. And you're going to cross them in front of you.
Staying tethered.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. What's important is you spend a little bit of time to feel into where these cords are for you, right? You want to spend a little bit of time feeling into the cord. And it's an intuitive process. It's just whatever comes through. So you just close your eyes. You can ask for the assistance of your guides, angels, masters, teachers, all those who hold you in the highest of love and light to support you in this process. And feeling into where the cords are. What do the cords feel like? What emotions are in the cords?
Okay.
Right? So, you know, many times in the solar plexus, they could be in the stomach, they could be in the heart, they could be this thin, they could be that wide.
Okay.
Everything in between. They could be black, they could be red, you know, they could have spikes coming out of them. It could be a braid, right? It could be a coil. You know, you want to feel into the texture of it, you want to feel into the weight of it, you want to feel into where it is. So once you have that sense and you have that feeling as to where they are, the emotions that are in them, right?
Right.
You want to take your hands, you want to breathe in, and you want to, like a blade of knife, you want to go, okay? And you want to make a sound with it, okay? And the sound's going to come right from your core. Okay, and it's like a breathing sound, like your let me see if I'm doing this right. Hold on. Like that. It's kind of like what they do in the dojo.
Yeah. I'm not being funny, like Mr. Miyagi.
Yes, but absolutely. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
Ultimate Mr. Miyagi. And you want to feel that coming right from the diaphragm, right?
Oh yeah, you're gonna cut it from your core, right?
You're cutting it from the core, and when you cut it, you'll sense the cords dropping. You may want to do it more than one time, so whenever you feel it's done.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, now, you might want to take the cords. You can leave the cords there. I'm actually going to pick my cords up and I'm just going to put them over to the side for a second because I'm going to sit back down because there's a little bit more to it. So once you do that, there's still going to be remnants, chances are, in there. You want to remove them. So the right hand is electric.
Right.
Left hand is magnetic.
Right. Wait. Right electric, left magnetic.
Magnetic. Okay. So you want to go in and you want to scoop out whatever is left with the right hand while the left hand is like magnetically pulling out whatever is there.
So right one scoops.
Right. Right one's electric. It's electrified. The left one is magnetic, like a magnet will pull it out. So you want to scoop with your energetic hand, the right.
Okay.
And you want to pull out.
Makes sense.
The left. Now, also in this process, you've got to, this is the next step of it, is you want to release the cords. Many times what happens is people cut the cords and then they go off with their day and the cords are literally sitting in the space.
Oh, they're going to attach to my leg.
Yeah, they'll find their way. So what you want to do is you want to create a portal of light to source. I typically imagine it right over my left side, like an open portal of light. And I'll take it and I'll take what's left here and I'll pull it out and I'll put it into the portal straight to source for transmutation. You may want to flick it. You may want to blow on it. Typically I blow on it and I visualize it leaving, going into the portal. The portal goes straight to source. So it transmutes it, recycles it.
I can send it to source. Danieylah, I've been sending things into the ocean and it bothers me because I feel like people are going to swim into my crap.
Well, here's the thing. We used to very popularly send it into the earth, but the earth is now ascended. I mean, you could send it into the earth. I'd rather just get it right to Father Source and let Source transmute it and disperse it to the universe in whatever way it feels appropriate.
Yeah, people have said the sun, and I always feel like maybe that's the solar flares. I don't like that.
Yeah. So just send it straight to source. So you literally want to pick up your cords. Like right now, I'm going to pick up my cords and I'm going to take them and I'm going to put them into the portal. And flick my hands. It's still a little bit stuck there. And I'm going to take the rest here. I'm going to put it into the portal. Flick my hands here. And then I'm just going to feel into and see if there's any more there. And there's just a little bit more, not too much. And I'm scooping it. And then I'm drawing it out with my left hand. And I put it into the portal. And then I close the portal.
Gotcha.
So clockwise is opening, counterclockwise is closing.
Wait, clockwise? I love you. Clockwise?
Yep. Clockwise is opening, counterclockwise is closing. And so I close up my portal, I send it over, say thank you. Now here's the thing. So now this is beauty thing. Oh, and one other thing before we move on is you can use like a selenite wand or bar. If you want to pull a selenite sword, that also helps. Out, or if you want a cord cut with that, you can, right? You can intuitively, you can feel into what you resonate with, right? Because it's all about the feeling of it. So once you've done that, once you've closed your portal, now here's the thing is you got to fill it, right? You've got this space here now, right? You got this, I mean, you think of a surgeon, you know, you go for surgery and they open you up and they take something out of you. They don't just leave you there open. They've got to fill you back in. Whatever it is they took out, they got to replace it with something.
They do? I didn't know they
do. And then they got to close you up. right? They have to seal you up. So it's the same kind of idea. You just had psychic surgery, right? You had this cord taken out of you and cut out of you. So now you got to fill it.
Okay.
So this is the 6th step, is filling in the hole, filling in what you took away. So here's the thing. What I find works best is filling it in with love and forgiveness.
Okay.
So there's 2 things that you can do. One is sitting with yourself, right? And you can imagine yourself literally filling yourself in with, I am sovereign, I am free, I am whole. You're literally filling yourself back in with those very powerful I am statements. And you can feel free to come up with your own I am statement. It should be simple, it should be present, and it should be positive. So I am free, I am sovereign, I am whole, right? As if it's already done. And you're literally packing yourself. That's what you're filling yourself in with now.
Okay.
Keep saying it, sing it, chant it, light language it, whatever you want to do into your body, into that place until you feel whole.
Right.
Once you feel whole, now what you can do is put it on your armor. So you could put on a shield or an armor around it. So if you want to, especially because right after it's done, you might want to do something pretty heavy duty. So you might want to put on an iron plate. Imagine just like a weightless platinum iron plate, right? Something that's impenetrable, right? You're now psychic surgery done. You're filled in with the goodness and the wholeness. And now you want to protect that, right? So you might want to do that, put something around it. Whatever it is that you feel is impenetrable for you, seal yourself up with that, right? It's just a nice seal. So that's the 7th, is placing your armor. Now, integration time. Now you also can use I use the eggshell many times on you, the golden light eggshell. You can place that around you as well. But you want to set the intention that this is going to stay there until you remove it to support you in your healing and integration time. So now your integration time, actually, before we even get into that, there's something else that I wanted to share. And it is the Ho'oponopono prayer.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Which is very, very powerful, just to seal up the session and to use it as a mantra for the weeks following. And that prayer is, I love you. What was it again? It was, I love you. I'm sorry.
Right.
Forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you. And many people feel, well, hey, this SOB did all this to me. This SOB did all this to me. Why do I need to say any of that? Why am I sorry? Well, here's the thing.
And we love you. We love. It's forgiveness of ourselves so that we can forgive others.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It always comes down to that. And in addition to that, it is taking responsibility for your experience.
Right.
You are saying, I love you, because we are pure love and light. So you're standing in your ultimate truth by saying, I love you. You're saying, I'm sorry, because inevitably we always wind up hurting, whether it's conscious or subconscious. Maybe we were an enabler for a while. Whatever it is, there's always 2 parts to it. So by saying, I'm sorry, you are resolving karma in essence. right?
Yes.
You are resolving karma by saying, I'm sorry. Saying, please forgive me is also communicating and resolving that karma, because you're asking for forgiveness in whatever it is that you did subconsciously, unconsciously, consciously, however it was done. You are releasing the karma, and then you're having gratitude by it, by saying thank you. Okay, so it's very powerful. It is like the top vibrational frequencies that you can use with anything, anywhere, at any time. This is an awesome tool to use if you're stressed, if you don't know what to do, especially pertaining to somebody else or to a situation. You can just use this prayer as a mantra, and you can literally feel your energy rising. You can feel the density just falling off. So closing your process with that and utilizing that really morning or night or however, whenever, you know, you could do it towards, with intention towards anyone or anything, is just a beautiful way to assist you, and especially in this time of ascension.
Sure.
So sealing it up with that. And then the last step is the integration process. So integration, it's all about being loving and kind to yourself always, and being patient with the process. You may need to do this again, and that's fine, because we live in a sea of levels and layers, right? So you may have successfully, which, hey, cahoots to you, congratulations if you even successfully released one layer of it, right?
Right.
Because if you let go of one layer successfully, great, now you're onto a deeper layer, and you'll just keep going and going and going. Of course, the salt baths always help, or salt showers are very helpful as well. And if you are still in the relationship with the person that you are cutting the cords with, you have to allow yourself some distancing, if at all possible, during the time of integration. If that is not a possibility, then let's start talking some major protection mechanisms, which we will do in another session, of protection mechanisms for those that, say, you live with or that you work intimately with, that you can't just, you know, remove yourself from completely. There are processes. We're not going to get into it with that, but let me just see, there should be one thing that I can leave you with. Hold on, let me just tune into that. Okay, so there is a process called the blue sphere suit. Did I ever share that with you?
No.
Okay. Just in short, you surround yourself with blue light. And it's almost like a plasma kind of bright yet cloudy blue, right? It's around your entire body. Okay. And then what you do is you take all different colored roses and you place them all over the suit. So it's just, you're just one big walking rosebud, right? All these different colored roses. Okay. Then you take the appropriate rose colors for each chakra: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, purple, and you place 2 or 3 of them on the both sides, well, on the top crown, and then on both the front and the back of each chakra, and then at your root. And you set your intention that whenever there is any kind of psychic attack or anything that's going on emotionally where you're getting triggered by the person, that the rose is going to take the hit.
Ooh.
The roses take the hit for you, so it doesn't get into your fields. Okay. And it's real fun because you could start your day off with this technique of this suit. And then at the end of the day, before you go to bed, you feel into your suit and you'll be amazed. You'll be like, there's 3 missing here. There's 2 missing there. Like, you'll be able to sense into which chakras were attacked.
I feel like I should be wearing rose oil to remind me to do that.
Yes, to keep it. So great point there. So that's something I can just leave you with for today.
Oh, no, that's great. I feel like I'm going to be doing so much cord. Oh my. Do I have, are all our Zoom sessions recorded?
Yes, I record them.
How do I find them?
Well, let's close out this recording, and then I'll assist you on that.
Awesome.
Okay. So
Go back and I can find all that. Yeah.
So much love, and thank you so much for being here with me and for sharing the space with me and assisting me. And again, my name is Danieylah Viola, and you can reach me at my organization on Facebook, You Are Source. I have a private Facebook group called You Are Source, YOUARE, Source Collective, SOURCE. And that's a private Facebook group where I have tons of free tools and meditations and classes. And you can also check me out online at yoursource.co. That's as in co for co-creation. Okay, much love.
Check her out. Best.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.